Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Sarah and today we're going to be decorating the Goth house. So this is basically just a redecoration of a Victorian home made by jessicapie on YouTube, jessicapeyt on the gallery. So it was originally like a maximalist Victorian home, but prior to the recording of this video, I pretty much changed the exterior to kind of match the goth vibe that I was going for. And then I also cleared out a lot of the interior just so I could, refurnish it to my interpretation of what the goth house would look like. So in terms of style, what I was going for was, I didn't want to be overt with like the black and red and like kind of like what they currently have their house decorated as. I didn't want it to be as like too on the nose or like too like gimmicky, I guess, in a way. I kind of just wanted it to be like very antiquated, like a lot of like old furniture, like Victorian-ish kind of furniture, but then also mix a little bit of like contemporary stylings into it. So that's kind of why you see a lot more neutral colors for the wallpaper and then pops of color. So that's kind of what I was going for, and it's kind of because I'm not really used to styling homes in that kind of way, so this was definitely like a fun experience for me because I also got to play with like or furnish with different kinds of furniture and like base skin furniture and stuff from other packs that I had never used before, so that was kind of really interesting to do. So starting with like the entryway of the home, I kind of just wanted to keep it like very simple. I was kind of battling myself with how much clutter I wanted to add to the house. Like the original furnishing of the house had like a lot of clutter, because it was like a maximalist style of home. And so there's a lot of clutter everywhere, but I was kind of like battling with myself with if I wanted there to be a lot of like visible clutter, like shoes on the ground, clothes on the ground, and just like, a lot of extra stuff everywhere to make it seem more lived in. But I kind of interpreted that the Goths would kind of keep their home, I guess like more like a lot of their stuff stowed away. So you'd see a lot more storage as opposed to like just outright clutter and stuff visible. So the layout of the house, I was kind of just winging it, honestly. I didn't really have a plan. I was just going room by room and kind of like either redecorating what was already there and building on to it, or just like completely redesigning what the room was supposed to be purposed for. And then also, I think, so in terms of like how I view the Goths, because this, me redecorating this house is going to be for a save that I'm working on, which I think I'm gonna start like releasing the builds as soon as I finish with them, because this is like a very long-term project for me, mostly just because I do not have like the time that I used to like be able to like sit and really work on this kind of stuff. So my goal is to, once this video is up, to also have this video posted on the gallery for you guys to download as well. I forgot what my original point was, why I started talking about that, but yeah, okay, so me furnishing this goth home was for the save that I'm working on, and I'm still kind of like trying to figure out like what time period I want the save to be in, and that also kind of played into like how I decorated the house, because I wasn't sure would they have like a TV, like would it be like more contemporary, like modern style, or would it just be I wasn't really sure, because in my mind when I was first ideating about the save, I wanted it to be like kind of like in the early 2000s, like like early 2000s, like late 90s, around that time period. So like I don't know, I was kind of battling myself with that kind of thing. I think I'm just gonna leave it up to like interpretation and just have a mix of everything in the save file. So I mean, because there's only so much that you can do with The Sims, and this save in particular is supposed to be completely vanilla, so there's not gonna be any CC. And that was also like a fun part of decorating this home as well, was like I didn't have all of the normal things I would kind of reach for when I'm like furnishing a home, because I was just relying only on stuff that was in the game. And I will say it's a lot easier when you have a lot of the packs like I do, so it wasn't like too much of a challenge. Especially like I used a lot of Life and Death was a huge pack that I used when decorating this home, and then also the new royal something. I don't remember, I don't remember the name for it. But the new royal pack, and then also a lot of the base game furniture had that Victorian style as well to it, so that kind of made it easier for me. And then also I actually started placing down lots in the save on stream like months ago, but I have since started over after they released the update prior to the royal pack releasing, because they updated the family trees, and then they also added like family legacies, or no, was that base game? They added something to base game that was kind of like a feature of the royal pack, and I think it's legacies. I'm not 100% sure though. But yeah, so I redid the save and like replaced everything back down when they released that update, because they added some of the like family members of the townies, like base game townies. So like the Goths had like an extended family tree, which I thought was really, really cool. So once I get to like actually playing and stuff like that, I want to like integrate that kind of stuff into the save and kind of build on that as well. Another thing that I noticed was that they have, I guess for their legacy, is that they have like the symbol of a rose. So I wanted to like implement that as like a motif throughout the house as well. So you'll see like little bits of like rose, you know, symbols everywhere as well. And then so I wanted to kind of, so the way I interpret the Goths, I don't see them as outright like a creepy family, kind of like the Addams family, which I think they're originally inspired by. I didn't want to like go fully in that route, but with things like the dining room and some parts of the house, I do want it to have like a little weird creepy feeling, and you'll kind of see the more I'm like furnishing the dining room. I just wanted it to look kind of off from the rest of the house, where you kind of like, you're walking past it and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, that's kind of unsettling. And there is one specific painting that I used that was like, I don't know, just looking at it like made me feel kind of weird. And it's like, I think it's a painting that I've never used before when decorating. It's like of a still life, and there's, you know, like an oil painting of like fruit and like bottles, but in the painting there's like this weird shadow that almost, if you're like just taking a quick glance at it, it kind of looks like it could be a ghost or something. Maybe I'm just like thinking way too hard about this painting and like I don't know, putting something that isn't there. But I just like the idea of it, so that's why I put it in the dining room. And then I also liked this wallpaper that I use, like the I don't even know, it's like a patterned like red and black wallpaper, but it also kind of reminded me of the carpet from The Shining, so that also kind of led into like that weird feeling for it. I don't know, maybe that's just like my interpretation of, that's the intention that I was going for with decorating some of the rooms in the house. I think the dining room is really like the only room that overtly looks that way, but I mostly feel like the Goth home wasn't like, it's like been passed down for generations, so it wasn't always like just their home, like they freshly moved into it. It's been within the family for years, and they've just kind of been updating it over time. And that's also kind of why I wanted to stick with just like very like vintage furniture, like antiquated antique furniture as well. And then I since Mortimer's a writer. I was also trying to like think of like, because they're like super loaded, like they're super rich, so I could really just have fun with like going into like all the decorations and stuff like that. So I wanted there to be like a lot of spaces that you would see like in like really fancy movies of like rich people, where they have like a study and they have like this really like a library, like an actual library of like like floor to ceiling bookshelves and stuff like that. So I feel like it wasn't quite as grand as like how I pictured it in my mind, but I still wanted to have something like that there. So there is that like, and it is actually like a secret room as well that you can only access through like the bookshelf door. And I think I used the door that came from that one challenge that came prior to the royal update or royal pack coming out. But there is also another bookshelf door, one from base game, which is just like a single tile door, and then also one that came with is it the Casanova? I think that's the Don Lothario one, but there is like a Bella Goth kit, and I also used some decorations from there as well. What I really liked about using the life and death stuff was that mainly that it had like a lot of skulls on it, but it was like a lot of very big antique furniture, like looking stuff, so it really fit in with the rest of the decoration in the house. So I really loved like that skull fireplace, and also the skull door that I put for the room of like Bella and Mortimer as well. And I was kind of battling with myself as well on what stage of life the Goths would be at. So like what age would they be, and like what, because I feel like there's a timeline of like the Goth family story where like it's pre Bella going missing and then post Bella going missing and that kind of thing. Originally I wanted to be where Bella is already gone and the house is very creepy and like decrepit, just because they're just working through all of the grief. They haven't really like kept up with the upkeep of the house. Like all of the trees around the house are like dead, and like they don't have any leaves, and everything just kind of looks like a horror mansion. Everything's overgrown, and the house and the decoration and stuff is like very dilapidated. But I didn't want to like go that route. I do like playing. I wanted to start the save off kind of like around where The Sims 2 takes place too. So in The Sims 2, Cassandra Goth is a young adult. So in the save, she's also going to be a young adult in college and that kind of thing. I did originally want her to not live at home, like to live, on the university campus and that kind of thing. But I decided against that once I started decorating her room, and then I fell in love with it. So now she's living at home, but she is still in college. And then I also wanted to like start the save off in like a specific season, but then that kind of took the fun out of it for me, because when I play my forever save, like my own personal save, I have aging off. So the season never really matters for me, because I'm just constantly playing the different households and adding new people, and time isn't really like a factor that I have to worry about. So I think I'm going to start playing this save once I like get all the lots down in like Willow Creek and I'm happy with it. I think I'm just gonna like just start playing and it with aging off, just so I can like build relationships and kind of like start building a storyline for The Sims there. And then in terms of like how I think I want to like draw out a map or like do something similar where like I can picture where all of the worlds are connected and that kind of thing. I think the most obvious thing and easiest thing to do would be to connect like Willow Creek, Magnolia Promenade, and Newcrest. So I think all of those are going to be connected. And then for Willow Creek, I think that would be more of like in not like an older neighborhood, but like a neighborhood that was like already established before Newcrest was established. But I did want Newcrest to kind of be more kind of like a wealthier neighborhood, kind of like New Money, if that makes any sense. But Willow Creek is more of just like a mix of everything, just because it's been so much time that the town or city has been there. So I think Newcrest will be like a lot of more contemporary homes, but in Willow Creek you see like a lot of like homes from like that were like built in the 70s and 80s and that kind of thing. And then there's just like a mix of like the socioeconomic status within there. And the only thing I haven't really started on in Willow Creek is the community lots, because I'm not really much of a builder. So like I have big ideas, but for me I would have to like find like a shell that can kind of fit the idea of what I want to go with and kind of build off of that, or just like suck it up and start building something, because I really want, there's only just so much space and there's so much that I want to put in Willow Creek that I feel like I would need to build like multifunctional lots in order to kind of fulfill that. So I don't know, I'm still battling with myself of how I want that to go. But yeah, for Cassandra's room though, I went with black and purple just because, I don't know, I thought it was really cute. And then I ended up just finding so much stuff that was black and purple that was just so perfect. So like stuff from Realm of Magic and vampires and, you know, base game stuff. And I think the nightstands and the dressers from high school years and everything just kind of like really blended well together. And what I love doing for like older young adult and teen sims who are still living in their childhood home that they grew up in, I like to add little bits of detail of, you know, like some of the stuff they carried over as they were growing up. So I have Cassandra's imaginary doll on her bed. Of course she can't interact with it, but I just love having that kind of detail there. And then also her old toy box is still in her room. So kind of like little bits of stuff like that that I like adding. And then for the Goth children, I imagine just like the family in general are like very talented. Like Mortimer is a well-established author, like a famous author. I haven't decided what I want Bella to do, because I do know that she in the base game is a secret agent, but I think I want to rethink what her career would be, because I don't want her to just be like a housewife. But for Alexander as well, I imagine that he's like, he plays the violin as well, and he's also just like very creative, because I think and I don't know if this is like lore accurate or not, but I'm pretty sure Cassandra is more interested in like science and space and that kind of thing, whereas Alexander is more he takes more after his father, where he's like more interested in art and, you know, creativity and writing and that kind of stuff. So I think that that's kind of what I was going for when I decorated both of their rooms, having that detail in mind. And then I also really loved the bed that I used for both Cassandra and Bella and Mortimer's room, because it's the one from Realm of Magic that I never get to use because it's always just so extra. Like the bed frame with like the stained glass is like so pretty, and I'm just so glad that I was able to find one that kind of fit both characters perfectly, because Cassandra's has like the stars, and then I also put like those ceiling stars as well. And then for the Goth room, the master bedroom, I used the one that has the roses on it, and I feel like I'm just really proud of myself. I was like, yeah, that was really good detail to add. I think my strong suit though, when it comes to like decorating homes and stuff like that, my weak point is definitely bathrooms. I just feel like it's just so hard to like lay them out in a way that makes sense, and I just end up not liking them at all. Like I never know where like the sink should go, and like where the bathtub should be, and the shower, and the rug situation, and it's hard when the bathroom's a lot bigger because I never know how to like fill up the space properly. So I just, yeah, you won't see me decorating any of the bathrooms because I'm just not, I feel like I'm never really good at that. I would say my favorite thing to decorate are bedrooms and kitchens. I kind of just like kitchens because I just think they're fun. like coming up with like the different layouts and stuff like that. And I feel like I started enjoying decorating kitchens a lot more when I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was on Reddit or like the Sims subreddit or something like that, where someone posted like the triangle layout for kitchens. Like there should always be like a triangle distance between the sink, the oven, and the refrigerator. And once I like saw that like diagram laid out, it kind of changed the way that I make kitchens now. And I feel like a lot more confident when I'm like building kitchens, because I feel like everything makes more sense. If I had some kind of diagram for bathrooms, I feel like I would be on the next level. That would really help me improve my skills. But yeah, for Bella and Mortimer's room, I really wanted to branch out from the red like color for them, but I feel like that's just so on brand. I really wanted to use the life and death bed because it had that skull motif that was on it, like carved into it, that I really liked, but they didn't have a good swatch that like matched like the red theme for them. It was just mostly like a lot of orange colors and like a lot of blue, but nothing that was like outright red that looked good in my opinion. So I ended up not going with that, but I did really like the blue swatch, and then that blue rug that came with the new Royal pack. I think those like really meshed well together, and I really love when that happens. And I'm sure it's probably hard for them to think of like cross pack I guess pairing well with what's already in the game, because I'm sure that when they're designing things for a new pack, I'm sure they're not like going back and looking at what's already there, as you know, as we can tell with like wood tones not matching and stuff like that they don't do that. But it would be really cool if they did, so we could get like a lot more, I don't know, a lot more stuff that like pairs really well together. That would make building a lot more fun. But I will say I think I'm pretty satisfied with what we have in the game already. I'm sure my opinion will change once I start trying to decorate other houses as well. I think this one was easy, like I said, because we have a lot of the vintage antique furniture that was in base game, which I'm sure a lot of people hate, because I'm sure like when the game first came out, it was kind of odd that the furniture looked that way because it came out in 2014. So I think a lot of people were expecting something a bit more contemporary, and yeah, the furniture really was not good for the time period it came out. But yeah, and then also for the Goth home, I also wanted to use like a lot of art, which I never usually do, especially like the really fancy looking art. It's kind of hard to like put in like just a normal Sims home, just because like where would they get the money for that? And a lot of the paintings in the Sims, like the really nicely framed ones, are really expensive. But for the Goths, I feel like that makes the most sense. And I feel like there aren't like a lot of super rich families in this game. It's not that I know of, you know, other than the land grabs and stuff like that. But I do know that I do want to like build, I don't want to have like an outright class system, but I do want like a class system, because I do want to add like build more onto the Huntingtons, like Jay Huntington from the Rumi's household in Oasis Springs, and kind of like build his family. There was another Simmer, Ophelia's Garden over on Tumblr, who made like was it like a ski lodge or like a what is it called? Like a kind of like a summer cabin for the Huntingtons, and I was like, oh, I definitely need to like put that in my game, because I feel like, I don't know, I just like the idea of having like really rich established families, and just having like in general just like different characters in the game, just because I feel like that would add a lot more depth to the save as well, and like kind of build up the world, because the way I want to design the save is kind of like realistic in a sense, because I want there to be like actual like government and kind of like all of the current jobs that we have in The Sims have like actual, like a functioning town almost. Like I want there to be like city planners, and I want there to be like actual lawyers and like a courthouse and like government officials. Because I plan on Magnolia Promenade being more of like that, like a city hall, like town hall, like district, especially because it came with Get to Work, which has like the police department and the hospital. So I kind of want it to be like that downtown area where you would see all of those like government buildings and stuff like that. So yeah, I have big dreams. I'm very ambitious, I would say. But my ambitions are no match for my actual time that I have no free time. Basically, in between working full-time and then also going to school full-time, I unfortunately do not have I do not have the ability to like really commit myself dedicated time to like work on the save the way I want to, and even just like put out videos consistently. I am trying though, so if you do see me not upload for like a week or 2 weeks, just know that I'm very sad about it. But yeah, I really want to at least post once a month. That's the goal. Well, my real goal is to post at least once a week, but realistically, I think once a month would work best for me. Yeah, I'm kind of like switching gears into working on my vanilla save. So I don't have my mods folder, and I would have to like rearrange everything again. So I'm kind of just like, I'm just gonna stick with working on the save for a little bit, and then I'll get back to playing the family legacy and save again, which I'm really excited about. I've been having like a lot of fun doing it. Making gameplay videos was like new for me. I actually have attempted multiple times to like make gameplay videos, but I just haven't been like happy with it. And then also when I first started making videos, I didn't really have a good enough computer to be doing so the videos didn't really come out that good. But just know that like this has been my goal for like years, so I'm very happy to like finally be able to like start actually doing it. But yeah, and then I really wanted back to like, you know, the actual house decoration. I really wanted to use like a lot of the Love Struck paintings that we got with that pack, because I feel like I imagine Bella to be like the subject of some of those paintings, like and I feel like that's kind of like the direction in terms of design that they were going for with those paintings as well. There's also one really creepy one that's like really blue, and it's like a girl and she's like sitting in a room, but it's like really dark and weird looking that I really want to use. So if you see that in the house, then yeah, that was my goal, to use that painting. But yeah, as I'm recording like this voiceover and everything, I'm not done decorating the house. I'm done with the interior, but I haven't really finished the exterior of the home. I did place like all of the, you know, the wallpaper and the foundation, and like pretty much everything is done with the house. I just haven't finished decorating like the backyard, because I know in terms of like lore accuracy, the Goths have like a cemetery in their backyard, and really there's just not enough space for me to do that. So I think, I don't know if I'll go back and add it in some kind of way, or I might just like add it with the tool mod, since there is like that blank space behind their house, like off lot. So I may like add it through there, but unfortunately that means that you won't be able to place it in your game as well, since it'll be technically like all of the decoration will be off the lot, so it won't be included in the lot, you know, on the gallery, unfortunately. So I'm still like battling with myself on what I want to do with that, but I guess you'll see when you check the description for the house by the time this gets uploaded. But yeah, and then what else? Oh yeah, Alexander's room. I think I already talked about this a little bit, but yeah, I also, when it came to Alexander's room, I did want to like use a lot more like contemporary furniture and kind of deviate from like the antique furniture. So just because I feel like, you know, they would have to like buy a lot of like kid stuff for him too, as opposed to like Cassandra, where she probably grew up with like hand-me-downs and that kind of thing. But I think for the most part, I just wanted it to be like a mix, because I didn't want it to be like a super like fancy looking bookshelf, which wouldn't have really made much sense for him. Then I also didn't want like a IKEA looking kind of desk as well, because it didn't really seem fitting with the rest of the house. So that's kind of what I was like struggling with as well. Also, I feel like I've been battling with X, Y, and Z like a million times, so I'm very sorry about that. It's been a while since I've done like a speed build voiceover. I've been doing like a lot of build with me's, like on like a live stream and stuff like that. I do feel like that does help me though when it comes to like actually finishing stuff because I have like live, like real people holding me accountable for something. But when it comes to like just me doing like a speed build, it's just whenever I get it done. I do like, in terms of editing though, I do like speed builds just because I think this recording alone was like 8 hours of footage. It was something really crazy. But I can just speed it all up and then it's just like 45 minutes, which is perfect. And I also did run a poll over on my Tumblr for like which one people prefer, like build with me's or speed builds, and a lot of people prefer speed builds, which I do think I probably should have ran a poll in my community tab on YouTube as well. So, but yeah, maybe next time I'll do a poll over here. I haven't used like the community stuff ever, and I probably should do that more often. But also, if you do want to like interact with me more, like ask questions, Tumblr would probably be the best place to do so, because I'm more active there. Like when it comes to like YouTube stuff, when it comes to social media in general, I'm really not on social media. Like even in my personal life, I don't have it. So I just don't have like the apps on my phone, and I don't like getting notifications and that kind of thing. So I'm like very detached from that kind of stuff. But I do check Tumblr like every day. I just like scrolling and like getting inspiration, because they're just like, I feel like Sembler in particular is just like the community that like feels more like home to me, and like definitely feels like more safe for me. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense, but it's just, I've just been on that app for my whole life pretty much, so it's definitely more of what I'm used to. But yeah, that's definitely where the best place to like get in touch with me. And like for YouTube stuff, I don't really like to look at my analytics and my stats and stuff like that, because it stresses me out. Because like for me, making videos and stuff is more just like a hobby. For me, while I do definitely like really appreciate like all of the really nice comments, and I try to like them whenever I see them and respond when I can, and that kind of thing. But I do kind of like to be detached from YouTube, just because, like I said, it kind of stresses me out. I don't really know why. Maybe I'll unpack that one day and figure, the root cause. But yeah, there was one more thing that I wanted to mention that I was repeating in my head over and over again when I was decorating this house originally, because I strayed away from like the typical like dark theme, like the dark red and like the dark black and all that stuff for like the goth like color palette, I guess, for their home interior decoration and stuff like that. My main idea behind that was also, which hopefully this doesn't sound like super like pretentious and I don't know, annoying, but I really love like literature and thinking about all like the themes and just like the deeper I guess story behind certain choices that one would make. So my goal was to kind of like have the dark exterior of the Goth house, of course, is supposed to be like vintage, like Gothic, sorry, like Victorian Gothic kind of like styling, and is more so something that they inherited over time that had been in their, within the family for years and like decades and stuff like that. But I also wanted it to be like a representation of like the exterior being people's perception of the Goths as like a very mysterious and like goth like household, less because of the name, but also just because they're I guess like very comfortable with morbid topics, like topics of death and like the supernatural, and like I kind of wanted them to be like loosely associated with that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted the exterior of the house to represent. And then in the interior, I wanted it to be more so of like how the family actually is. So like they're very, I feel like they're like a very like close knit, like very like happy family. That's kind of why I wanted everything on the inside to be like how they actually are, like very bright and loving, like a happy family. And of course there are little tidbits of like, skulls and like weird things throughout the house, but I wouldn't say that necessarily equates to them being like how people perceive them to be. So yeah, I honestly, I finished recording everything, and then I remember that that was something that I wanted to like bring up. And like I said, I hope that doesn't like come across as like pretentious. I just like, thinking about those kind of details. But that is pretty much it for this commentary. There is a little bit of a video left, so I will just let the music play. But thank you so much if you watched to this point, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.